I'm spitting into the mic. Yeah. Jesus. Crying Wolf just knocked down one of her soldiers, and she's like, ah! She does not give a fuck about her soldiers. She said, fuck those soldiers. She said. So I just have to wait under this damn truck. Where's she at? Where are you? You beast! I hear her howling and shit. Okay, she just ran by. Oh! Motherfucker. Motherfucker. She's finally going down. Tariq, I'm putting a bullet in her head. Exactly. I also hear that the gun is misunderstood too. Maybe they can meet each other. Don't play with her, Snake. Don't do it, man. Don't feel bad for her. I don't care if she's bad as hell. Don't do it. I hear them.
I hear the cries. The cries of babies.
I can't tell if she's Asian or is she black. She Asian?
Stop it. Stop crying.
Kinda looks Asian.
Please. Please stop crying.
You just see Snake's face, he's like, the fuck is wrong with you? Where's Meryl?
Go away.
What, man?
Don't come any closer.
Meryl. It's the best. The best. 1 second. Hello?
I was so scared.
What are the 2 times?
Forgive me. I'm sorry.
I'm talking to him.
You can cry if you want. Cry if you need to.
Cry me a river. Hello? I love how she looks up and Snake just has the Glock ready.
No. I don't need tears anymore.
I don't appreciate how seductively they come towards you. I don't like it.
So cry. As much as you like. I will be there to listen.
Don't touch me, bitch. Have you seen that video before with the little kid? The Indian kid? He's like, don't touch me, bitch. And I was like, yo, I love this guy. I don't like how there's baby sounds in the background while I'm fighting her. That's kind of weird. To make you feel better, Tyreek, I'm using a tranquilizer. The fuck was that green mist? I'll lace them up for guys just like you, Terry. Oh, I overheard someone we went to school with died. I actually never knew the guy. Yeah, I was about to say, like, I saw him around, but, like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of people that have been dying, like, I'm not saying it's not sad, but, like, I don't feel as bad because I didn't have a connection with them. So it's kind of like, oh man, that sucks, but it's like, you know, what can you do? But then I spoke to him a few times, but like we weren't like super close, but I spoke to him a few times. He seemed okay. I know he yeah, I know what he died from. I know he was doing that stuff, and you know that stuff's not good. As far as I know, he didn't hurt people, but you know unfortunately he did cause his own demise. You know, maybe that's not a conversation people are ready to have, but if you look at a lot of the kids nowadays, they're literally killing themselves slowly. Now, there's still, you know, crime and people getting shot and stuff, but I feel like a lot of the young kids, you know, that we've grown up with or heard about, you know, they died from drugs. And the crazy part about it is people see this and then they continue on like, you know, nothing ever happened, being that like they didn't get the message, you know, the message to be like anyone can die from it, you know, from drugs. Like you're not special to think that you won't. There's no possibility that you could die. And that's what I try to tell people. I was like, look, man, no one's untouchable. You know, I can die from drugs. You could. Yes, there is a possibility that you won't, but why try fate?
You don't need me to tell you there's whole nations in Africa tearing themselves apart in the name of ethnic cleansing. Well, she was born into that environment. Yeah,
it's sad.
When she was a little
you know,
girl,
it's sad to see for sure. I wish, you know, it wasn't like this, but this is the reality of things.
She was left a refugee. She took her last surviving relative.
But yeah, basically, like how I was thinking about it is like, so I'm 21. By the time I'm like 25, 26, I'll have my master's. And my girlfriend, she'll be 26, 27. And she should be almost done with medical school. Like probably be a year or 2 years out from being done with that. Because that's kind of what we both, you know, agreed upon. We're like, you know, before we try to get married or have kids, like let's make sure we get, you know, the education thing done and get your foot in the door in your career. And then, you know, we'll start thinking about stuff like that. Like we'll still talk about it, you know, from time to time, but you know, it's definitely held off until, you know, all the individual stuff is tied up. Which is a good idea, you know. You don't want to rush into it, and I didn't, finish, realizing myself, and she didn't either. So, well, I would say one of the main things I've learned from dating her is that, what makes someone happy doesn't necessarily make someone else happy. What I mean by that is, if you find joy and happiness in video games, that's great, and no one should try to take that away from you. Now, let's say you found another person that maybe they didn't really care for video games, right? You try to show them, but, they didn't really care for it. At that point, it's up to you to be like, okay, this isn't their thing, let it go. But for some other people, it's like they double down on it, and it's like it can't really understand why something that brought them so much peace doesn't bring you peace. It's kind of like, well, it did this for me. It's like, okay, I'm glad it did, but, if you see that it's really not having an effect on me, and, me without that in my life, I'm still the same guy regardless, and, I still do my job, as a person, not only to, your spouse, but also, in general, you be the best person you could be. Then, maybe you don't need that extra thing that, made you whole. So I would say that was one of the main things I learned. I don't know, you tell me what you think.
Welcome home, Wolf.
Okay, Joshua.
Hold it, Snake. Time to change the disc. I know, it's a pain.
He said,
God damn
it.
Swap disc 1 for disc 2. You see the disc labeled 2?
No.
Huh? Oh, wait. We're on PlayStation 3. It's a Blu-ray disc. Dual layered, too. No need to swap.
I understand.
Damn it, Otacon. Get a grip.
Yeah, what an age we live in, huh, Snake? Wonder what they'll think of next.
Damn it, Otacon. I respect your view on it. And it's, it's with merit. I don't dismiss it. I just feel like, getting married is something I always wanted to do at least once in my life. Because I already, my mind could change, obviously, but let's say I do get married and it goes south and we break off. For me, where I stand right now, I would just get married once and if it didn't work, I'm not doing it again. Maybe that's not fair to other people that wish to get married to me and could, you know, could deserve, you know, to get married to me, but that's just how I would be, because it'd be like, I'm not going through that whole process of getting married all over again to a different person, because then it gets kind of redundant to me, because then it loses its meaning, because then it's kind of like, okay, we're getting married, like, you know, the people you see where they've on their like third, fourth marriage, and I know ideally it's like, oh well, you know, everyone gets it right at a different time, but then if that's the case, then why do you keep getting married over and over again? You're not supposed to marry everyone. You're supposed to marry one person. Yes, you know, in a religious way, you know, you're free of your obligation, you know, to stay married to one person if that person is deceased. But just the way I see it, you know, you can do what you may, just make sure it's the right choice. And oftentimes what is the right choice and what's the wrong choice isn't as clear cut as we wished it to be. But we still try. We try our best to live a good life, and you know, that's all I could really ask for. You know, whatever, you know, my fate ends up being, honestly, to be real with you, Tyreek, is kind of irrelevant to me. You know, whatever my fate is, it is. I'm just gonna do the best I can to be the best person I can, to not only to myself but to others. And you know, whatever my fate is from that, you know, I'll live with it. But at least I did things my way, you know. At least I did things, you know, not because someone told me to, but because it felt right. And that's really important to me. Oh my god. These things, the weird black monkey things from Metal Gear Solid 4, I don't like them. Away from me. So many of them. But is what I'm saying making sense, Terry? Like, do you feel where I'm coming from? Like, just as like, I feel more in tune and free with life when I just leave fate up to fate, you know? Like, I'm less concerned about what's gonna happen, and I'm more concerned about what I can control. Some people, you know, maybe that's not good enough for them. Maybe they need some certainty in what's gonna happen. You know, I used to be like that a lot more, but you know, the older I get, the more I'm like, you know what? You know, it would be great if things go the way we hope them to go, and we all go to where we wish to go. But if I don't go, I don't go. And I mean, at that point, what can you really do? You're dead. I mean, at that point, like, you're just dead. I mean, you don't really have an opinion at that point.